The Sooners win in a rout in Norman. I'm Barry Tramel along with OU writer Ryan Aber. We're both in Norman. We're on Saturday night. The Sooners rout Kansas 62-9, a dominating performance. KU kicked a field goal on the last play of the first half, scored a touchdown on the last play of the second half. Otherwise, the Sooners pitch a shutout. The offense gets going. Big game from Rhamondre Stevenson. Ryan, it's what you should do with Kansas, and it's what the Sooners did do with Kansas.
Yeah, absolutely. And they got to use a lot of players. Spencer Rattler got a little bit banged up, was able to come back in the game. But in the end, they used three quarterbacks. They showed off their defensive depth from early in the game, using some guys that we've seen a little bit of but haven't seen a ton of from the early going. And their defense played really well, 246 yards total for Kansas. The Sooners were able to sack the Jayhawks 9 times with 11 tackles for loss, brought pressure from all kinds of different spots. Nick Benito had, I believe, 3 of the sacks. So a solid performance all around both sides of the ball for the Sooners, and that's exactly what they wanted and needed here going into the bye week before Bedlam on November 21st right here.
Now, offensively, it wasn't, a great game for Spencer Rattler. He was a little shaky first, threw an interception on a bad throw. Could have had another one picked. He gets hurt in the second quarter, bangs up that shoulder, and Tanner Mordecai actually finished off a drive. But for the most part, the offense was very effective. What did you like and not like about the Sooner offense today?
Well, what I liked, got to start off with Rhamondre Stevenson. I mean, we saw what Stevenson did last week against Texas Tech with his 3-touchdown performance, but today he left no doubt that he's OU's number one running back. He takes so much pressure off of Spencer Rattler to make plays. Yes, Rattler's going to do a lot of things for this team moving forward, but he's still a redshirt freshman. He's still going to make some questionable decisions, as we saw today with the interception. But 11 carries, 104 yards, a couple touchdowns for Rhamondre Stevenson, but also showed the versatility with the 4 catches for 60 yards. Had a nice block that set up a really good pass down the field to Austin Stogner there in the second quarter. And just the versatility that you see from Rhamondre Stevenson has added a different element to this offense. On the defense, I already talked about the pressure that they brought from a lot of different spots. As far as what you didn't like, they certainly could have used Charleston Rambo, adding another element. He missed a week ago, came back to play today, 2 catches, 20 yards for him. They'd like to get him much more involved offensively. But not a whole lot to complain about the Sooners today.
Well, they dominated Kansas. What I liked was, the defense played great, but they didn't really let up. The last 2 years, Kansas has scored 43 second-half points against the Sooners. Games they weren't in danger of losing, but still, you want to keep your thumb on the Jayhawks. They did that today. Ronnie Perkins and Benito were great on that line. And I thought the secondary really covered well. Kansas actually has a couple of decent receivers. Nobody really ran free. So all in all, I thought it was a solid performance. You don't learn a lot when you play Kansas from a positive standpoint, but Oklahoma got through this game still in pretty good shape to contend for a Big 12 championship. Oklahoma State beat Kansas State. That was a nice win for the Sooners. Sets up OU to beat Oklahoma State if they can do that and get in the driver's seat to make it to Arlington. So all in all, you'd have to say a good day for the Sooners.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, the only injury that they got out of here with outside of Rattler, although Rattler looked a whole lot better there in the third quarter when he came back, it seemed like that hip wasn't bothering him near as much as it was at the end of the second quarter. Austin Stogner got a little bit banged up. That's a guy that they really need for Bedlam. We'll see if there's an update on him on Monday from Lincoln Riley. But outside of that, the Sooners did exactly what they wanted to do in this game. And, they're in really good position here entering Bedlam. I don't think any of us would have thought here a few weeks ago, the last time, certainly that OU played here, and certainly after losing to Iowa State, that we could be talking about them being one game away from, as you said, being in the driver's seat for a Big 12 title game berth. But that's right where we are at this point because of how well the Sooners are playing on both sides of the ball.
Well, it's been a long climb from 1-2, but now Sooners are 5-2. Bedlam Sooners are off next week. After that, it's OSU in Norman for Bedlam. We'll have complete coverage of the Sooners from now until then, every day in the Oklahoman and here on Oklahoman.com.